everyone, and welcome again to
Thursdays and Toni.
and Trish. Once again, we are gonna bond for 20 minutes with regards to different topics about adulting, career, and everything in between. So, Toni, how is everything so far? How's your weekend?
It's quite okay. I'm really excited to when things get back to normal, particularly the volume at work. But enjoying some downtime here. How about you?
Everything's fine except for the fact that I've been missing my friends. And everything is just, being done online. Ang hirap lang because, it's really different, diba? Social cues, syempre kapag nakikita mo yung tao, tsaka iba yung the way na tumawa kayo, the way na magkwento kayo, minsan magiging choppy. So, yun lang yung nakaka-frustrate now that we're all at our own homes. So, ayun. Anyway, today's Throwback Thursday. Can you please explain what Throwback Thursday is all about?
Yeah, so we actually have different themes for each Thursday of the month. And for Throwback Thursday, as the theme suggests, so we will be reminiscing about our experiences regarding the different topics that we will be sharing for each episode. So particularly for tonight, we will be talking about networks and to be more specific, why building a network is crucial to one's success. So now that we already introduced tonight's topic, Trish, I'm really curious now whenever we talk about networks or whenever you hear the term, what comes to your mind?
Connections for me. Not just professionally, I mean, siguro professional term yung connections, diba? Pero in social terms, it's about relationship, socializing, diba? And it's being done almost everywhere, even in every aspect of our lives, even outside work. And ikaw ba, as an extrovert, when it comes to networking, what comes to your mind?
Ang naiisip ko talaga is it's sometimes something that you're not conscious of doing. But it really starts when you converse with someone. Because sometimes our mere conversations will lead to having networks. And I think that's my straight answer for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And naku-curious ako, as an extrovert ba, do you also have your own fair share of struggles whenever you meet new people? I mean, sa extrovert, hindi talaga problema yung pakikipag-usap sa tao. Pero syempre meeting different people, sometimes it makes you conscious, diba? So, naisip ko lang, do you struggle whenever you make friends or, meet new people?
Of course, definitely. And I'd say that because I was once an introvert when I was younger. But as an adult who is an extrovert, the struggles would mainly be if the person I am talking to or the person I'm starting to have a conversation with is an introvert. Of course, as an extrovert, I need to be more conscious when reaching out to an introvert because I may make the individual intimidated if I talk too much. And aside from that, I think it's also challenging for an extrovert to make friends or build a network when I'm the only one who is interested in keeping the conversation going. I think that's one of my biggest challenges because sometimes you're not talking to an introvert naman, pero you'll feel when the conversation is about to die. I mean, I know, you can vibe it. I'm an extrovert and I get energy from, conversing and interacting with people. Nagsistruggle ako doon kapag alam ko na, I still wanna talk but I'm not getting any energy from the circle I'm at. That's so hard.
Yes. Actually, mahirap. For me naman as an introvert, ang mahirap sa amin is when it comes to approaching extroverts, sobrang wala talagang problema. Kasi diba, they're really approachable in nature. Pero ang hesitation namin dun is they might even drain our energy. Yun yung sigurong intimidating whenever we network or whenever we make friends. We're afraid that it might even drain us. Kasi syempre yung energy level ng mga extroverts sobrang high. Diba kami yung parang shy type lang muna sa una. So yun yung usually hesitation ko whenever I approach an extrovert. That they might even drain me. And baka next time or sooner or later during the conversation, bigla na kaming mag-zone out kasi naubos na yung energy namin. Pero I know naman na some introverts din eventually learned their way on how to network effectively. Hindi nga lang syempre sa big crowds. Pero in the past, Toni, I know naman na networking helps you advance your career and gives you access to more job opportunities. Was there a time na talaga na-realize mo na networking really helps you or will really help you in your career or in life in general?
So whenever I look back, both professional and personal, my networks did have a huge impact to where I am now. Professionally, having good relationships with my previous line managers, I would always appreciate the exchange of stories that we have whenever we have a formal or informal one-on-one connects, because it gives me a bigger picture of how I would really see myself progressing in the world of HR. Personally naman, since I used to be an introvert and a not really adventurous person, having personal networks such as some of our college friends made me enjoy life more, if I would describe it, because my closest friends from college are travelers, and being friends with travelers would really give you so many good memories. I am not a professional. I'm not professional when it comes to traveling. So having experts like them, people who are very keen on to make itineraries, people who know how to strategize with the budgeting when it comes to traveling, I enjoyed that pre-pandemic. And so far, I'd say okay naman yung experiences. Kahit na it's just for a few years. Pero Trish, how about you? So we've had connections then. We are making connections still currently, and we will be making connections in the future. Pero whenever you look back, how was there a time when a network, whether it's a professional or personal network, really had a huge impact na nagbe-benefit ka pa rin up to this day because you've been connected to that person?
Actually, marami, especially in my previous job, talaga natulungan ako nun ng supervisor ko. But the very first one who really opened my mind in terms of networking was my dad. So imagine, talagang total introvert siya. Pero sinabi niya sa akin when I was young, I think pa high school pa lang ako nito, I really never understood na it's not just enough that you put hard work in what you do to excel. Diba? Because at the end of the day, ngayon malaki na tayo, may isip natin na no man is an island. It's not enough that you just work hard, do your thing, and that's it, you're successful. No. Sabi ni dad sa akin dati na, you know what, just say hi, be polite whenever you meet new people, especially at parties, kasi dito mo mapapractice yung networking. And one day, you know what, they will need you, you will need them. I was like, no way, sabi ko talaga, hindi naman kailangan na, basta masipag ka lang, ganyan. And I was just grade school, going high school, hindi ko talaga naisip yun. Pero tumetak sa akin yun eventually when I got into college. Doon mo makikita yung value ng building relationship mo to your professors, your previous classmates, kahit hindi mo ka-course, di ba, minsan nagiging classmates mo sila. Because eventually, when you graduate, these are the people who will help you give insights, give information. So, sobra talagang nakatulong sa akin yung mga words sa akin, or words of wisdom sa akin ni dad na, you know what, it is really important to network because that would be a major help to your success. Kasi di ba, even most successful people in the world or in the Philippines, hindi lang sila nagsipag, diba? They also needed people. Even the president of this country needed a secretary, needed a vice president, because you cannot do things all by yourself. So, ayun. Yun lang naman. Ikaw ba, Toni? What are the things that you have learned naman when it comes to networking as an extrovert?
So as an extrovert, looking back, whenever we try to make friends or build our networks, we don't always have to be conscious na, we're making a connection because eventually we will get something from that individual. That should never be the intention. If it's just a casual day-to-day thing that you get to introduce yourself to someone or to make a conversation with someone, the initial intention is not to make a network. Do understand that you will still get something out of the conversation, whether this is an individual that will eventually become your connection or just an individual that will fall under the acquaintances category. But whenever you converse with people, and you are feeling that the individual is really interested into conversing as well, make sure that you give a fair attention to sharing something from your experiences or from knowledge, and the other half is to be focused on listening. so that you can make the most out of the conversation that you're having. And who knows, diba? Probably in one single conversation, you'll have a very valuable network or friend in the future. How about you, Trish?
For me, as an introvert, we really cannot be friends with any people that we encounter. Kasi sometimes most of the time we're very careful with our energy. But of course, huwag mo susungitan yung taong hindi mo feel. But for me, the best advice that I can give is to look for the right people. So your network kasi, diba, it should include anyone who can help you grow, not bring you down personally and professionally. Kasi you'll never know who might be able to help you in the future, diba? So make sure to connect with people working in a variety of industries and positions, and hindi lang siguro sa network. Whenever you are in a party, take advantage of that to see kung sino yung mga magiging ka-vibe mo. You don't have to be friends with all of them, but at least make one or two, diba? For me, yun yung parang key for me as an introvert. At least make a friend, diba? Or two friends, ganyan. For me, okay na yun eh. Kasi yung mahalaga, you learn from those people or you learn from that event, you learn from those people's experiences. You also be proactive. Hindi naman kailangan super friendly, but be proactive. Ayun. Sige. So, Toni, we're about to end. And I want you to give some of the lessons that you have learned. We're already in our late 20s. So we already had, a good amount of exposure in the real world. So for those who are still starting, fresh grads, or those who just got their first job, what are your advice for your fellow extroverts in networking?
Definitely, as you said, it's not much of a challenge for extroverts to initiate conversations. But if you were a fresh graduate, or you're starting to make networks, please do listen more, because as extroverts, we sometimes get so into the conversation that we forget that part of communicating is also listening. So if you really want to learn, if you really want to succeed, I am so sure in saying that you'll definitely achieve that if you learn to listen more. How about you?
Mm-hmm. If there is one message that I will give to my fellow introverts, is that positive relationships require nurturing. So take time, guys, to check in with your friends. Kahit chat lang yan, private message. Because, yung mga taong naging ka-close mo, you'll never know naman talaga how are they if you don't chat with them, if you don't ask how they're doing, So show an interest even though you have no agenda, diba? Because at the end of the day, ang mahalaga naman is your relationship, not what you can get from them. So, yun, especially this pandemic, everybody's online. Mas madali na mag-approach ng tao ngayon kasi it's just one message away. You don't have to approach them personally.
Siguro one final reminder for me is that always remember that we need each other. But in making network, always prioritize quality over quantity. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you do, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel. You can also turn on the notification bell so that you'll be updated whenever we have new videos uploaded. And we are also on Spotify, so you can check us out on the Ask Trishy podcast. So you will be able to go that through the link that we will be posting in the description box. Thank you very much again for watching and for listening to this episode. We hope that you enjoyed. And this has been Thursdays with Toni
and Trish. Have a great night, everyone.
Bye.